An NHL insider reveals the Canucks trade plans for the deadline, as well as Canucks GM Patrik Allvin speaks out about the trade rumors surrounding Kuzmenko. We'll break all this down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say that 82.2% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed. So if you're looking for a place for daily NHL content, look no further. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, become part of the community here, because we're on the road for 3,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate it if you went down and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is Canucks looking to be buyers at the deadline. And as we take a look here from Elliotte Friedman on his 32 Thoughts podcast, he says he expects the Canucks to be among the busier teams this season. He added, you're going to start hearing a lot of things about the Vancouver Canucks. Specifically, he said, we're going to hear a lot of crazy rumors with Vancouver. I think Vancouver is going to be the rumor center of the NHL over the next little while. And we go on to see here, Friedman was likely only speculating that a ton of trade scenarios will be thrown out there, and many may be far from accurate. But Rory Boylan of Sportsnet cited Friedman's comments and added that signs suggest that Vancouver might contemplate taking a big swing on a top six winger or an impact center. And they say to get what they need, some speculated interest in Jake Guentzel. The Canucks might have to move Kuzmenko or Hoglander to clear money in this deal. But Boylan also noted that the Canucks are firmly in buyers category for the first time in years. The question isn't will they be active in the market, it is how active will they be. And we also go on to see here what Vancouver has in capital to trade back in a deal. They do have guys like Kuzmenko and Tyler Myers who could make an immediate impact on an NHL team, but they do have younger players like Podkolzin and Hoglander that they could also use as trade capital as well. And they do have an option where they could trade away a first-round pick or a top prospect in a deal. And we did see get some comments from GM Patrik Allvin here. He said, well, I think I owe it to the players. The players dictate how good we are and how they're buying into the way we want to play. We know that they are capable of playing at this high level, and if they continue to do that, then it's on me to make sure I support them and give them opportunities to be successful. And Mark, I know this is a lot of information to kind of take in here, but I really do think this is great news if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan, because, for the first time in years, we're going to see Vancouver kind of be in the sweepstakes here for these players that are available at the deadline. And I really do think this is going to be great for them moving forward and potentially into a Stanley Cup run this postseason.
The big thing with the Canucks, I really like this team. This team has been dominant from the gates. They're one of the top teams in the league, especially in the West, and just overall, they've been outstanding. I do think they need a top six guy. I know Alvin was kind of talking a bit about not wanting to make too much cap additions to this team with Pettersson left to be re-signed. But overall, I think this is a year the Canucks really should look in, go for a big name. Adam, if you can get a guy with term on a good deal, this would be outstanding, especially to add to that second line. Or if you wanted to get a top guy, move Miller, Pettersson down off the top. I think it just makes the Canucks even better. But the big thing with this is they have so many prospects that I kind of like them holding on to. Like Romanke, we've seen him just win MVP of the World Juniors. He looked outstanding. DPD, which is Elias Pettersson, but the defenseman that's not on the team yet, he looked outstanding in this tournament. And Willander looks great too. So these three guys especially, I'd really like to hold on to. I know they have a lot of people throughout this system that does look good. But overall, I think going after a top six guy would be great. Like I said, this is a top team. They want to be a top team. They want to reward this team. They want to win a Stanley Cup. So ultimately, you need to go out and acquire a guy. I know Jake Guentzel's name's floating around. He is a UFA at the end of this year, so the big issue with that is can you retain him, and how much can you give him if you still want to bring back a guy like Pettersson?
Yeah, and with the team they have right now, I really do think they could make a good run at it. I think they're just maybe one trade away, maybe one veteran away, one top six guy away from solidifying themselves as probably Stanley Cup contender favorites going into this postseason. But it'll be really interesting to see what they do here come deadline time. I know Niels Hoglander has been a name that has been tossed around going back the other way in a lot of these potential trades, like for Jake Gensel or guys like this. I really do think you want to keep this guy. I think he keeps the scoring down through the bottom six. But if you have to give him up to get, a guy like Jake Gensel, I mean, you kind of have to give and take at that point. But I really do think it will be interesting to see. There are a lot of names out there. Tarasenko is a name I'm kind of looking at with the state that Ottawa's in right now. Maybe they move off Tarasenko for, a couple of prospects, maybe a first-round pick to kind of, retool this team for next year.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There's going to be so many teams selling that I think they can get a player to bring in, especially a veteran that can bring you something like Tarasenko. I do think he'll be a little cheaper as he will be an expiring deal. Ottawa's looking to sell, so if you can get this guy retained or just bring him in for a second, third, whatever it might be, I think he'd be an awesome fit. But I do think looking at a second line center might be the biggest concern right now.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with that. I know a name that's been bouncing around out there is Tanev, but you did just trade for Zadorov. I really don't think you need to go for a D-man. I mean, if you keep Myers here at the deadline, you don't really need to get a D-man back in return. I think maybe going to get that scoring guy, that top six guy, like you said, a center, I think is the best option for them right now.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You can go out and get a center. Maybe you want to go cheap, get Sean Monahan. Maybe they really think this is the year and they want to take a big swing where you bring in a guy like Elias Lindholm and Tanev. These guys might end up being rentals, but if they want to reward this team, they want to reward the city of Vancouver. I think they really take a swing. I think they go for it. And honestly, I think adding two guys like this, you could probably bring them back for a lot cheaper than you really expect.
Yeah, definitely I'd agree with that. I'm really excited to see what this team and Patrik Allvin does here at the deadline, because I'm locked in on the Canucks right now. I really want them to win this year. I really enjoy the team they got there. Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, Thatcher Demko is having an amazing season for them too. So it'd be really nice, like Patrik Allvin said, to reward this team and make them have, a Stanley Cup run here. Maybe get to the finals and win one. I think it would just be great to see. But we're going to get into the second topic here, and that is Kuzmenko on the block. And we did just talk about this guy potentially going back the other way in a deal, but we did get some comments from GM Patrik Allvin. We said, if you look at it, he's a second-year pro in the National Hockey League, although he's older and 27 years old. We know the second year is tough. We've become a better team. We want to play a more structured game. I would say I'm very pleased with his last few games. I think Kuzi understands what he needs to do in order to stay in the lineup, but he does also go on to say here, obviously he's a hell of a talented player, and teams are definitely checking in when they see a guy like that is not in the lineup. And I think what he's kind of alluding to here, Mark, is that, Kuzmenko could be shopped around at the deadline to try to get a guy who's going to stay in the rotation a little bit more.
Yeah, Kuzmenko was a huge piece for them last year. We kind of seen his production drop off. I mean, last year he almost scored 40 goals. I think it was 39 on the dot. And this year he kind of seems like he hasn't found his way with his coaching staff. It seems like he's in and out of this lineup. And in my opinion, I think this is a guy that you can end up trading. There's going to be a team, maybe Calgary, that wants someone on term. That you can include this guy in a package, get off this $5.5 million, ship him out, bring in someone else, and just kind of get a fresh start for two players.
Yeah, definitely. I think a fresh start is probably in order here for Kuzmenko. I think this will be the best for this guy. Like we say, he has potential to be a great player here. I know he's 27 years old, but he was lighting it up over in Europe when he was playing over there, and now he came over at 39 goals last season, and I think he has the potential to do this again. But like you said, maybe you get him on a new team, a new home, and see where that takes you. But we're going to hear from you guys down in the comment section. What do you think about, the Canucks being buyers at the deadline? Are you excited? And let us know what you think about Kuzmenko being on the block. Down in the comment section below. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here on the channel, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Mulder Scully. He says, as long as they don't give up Pettersson or Lekkerimäki, he'll be happy. And shout out to you, Scully. Really appreciate you commenting on the video. And I think we have to agree with you here. You don't want to give up PD. You don't want to give up Lekkerimäki with the, amazing play he just had at the World Juniors. So be really interesting to see what happens. And like I said, let us know down below, who do you think is going to land in Vancouver at the deadline? But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like we said, we're on the road for 3,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you love the Canucks, you love the NHL, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video that's popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.